Drinks with the leader. Drinks with the Drinks with the leaders. Come on, everyone. Drinks with the leaders. It's time to have fun. Business people, lots of ideas. You need some advice. Come right here. Drinks with leaders is here.
I wonder if Julie would have bought those reindeer if she knew how much fun you were going to have with them on the show. How are you?
Doing good. Well, we need to be appropriate on this show. I didn't realize we were such a big deal that Facebook now picks up on music we play. So I feel very impressive. You also have some other news about other people picking up on the show as well.
We do. We're just going to jump right in here. How have you been this week, Scott?
I started off, Monday in my pajamas and I ended it in my pajamas. I just put on what looks to appear to be a collar, but it's bare feet and shorts. How is your week going?
I'm going good. I'm going to show you my shirt. Look at my shirt. It says, "Make the world suck less."
And you did a LinkedIn post on it.
I did do it. It's my favorite new shirt. You know what today is?
Giving Tuesday.
Is Giving Tuesday. I love Giving Tuesday. So I went all in on Giving Tuesday. So yes, let's talk about all the exciting news we have. First of all, I want to say hello to everybody watching and jump on and let us know if you are watching on Facebook or on LinkedIn. And then I thought, because it's Giving Tuesday, let us know what your favorite nonprofit to support is so that we can give them a shout out on our show. So we did a Big Brothers Big Sisters show a couple weeks ago. That was fun. Still can donate for that, for the Most Wanted. And then what was were you going to tell us your favorite nonprofit?
Well, I wanted to know, did you receive any donations for your Big Brothers Big Sisters Most Wanted auction?
I am receiving donations today, and they're doubling them today, which is really fun. So I'm pretty excited about that. So what are some nonprofits you support? I know you support everybody, I feel like.
I always want to support friends like yourself that are in Big Brothers Big Sisters Most Wanted. Was on a call today with Charlie Hustle called 1K for KC that raised over $350,000 that goes directly to paying people's rents. So that it just goes directly to the bank to pay rent. And then tomorrow, working with Mike Meyer with Band of Angels to hand out posters for Art That Blows. And then following this call, I'm going to be on the executive leadership committee call for Go Red for Women. So, lots of great organizations, lots of great causes, and but I'm not doing what you're doing. You're putting yourself out there. You're raising money for an amazing organization with a 100% graduation rate in Big Brothers Big Sisters for Kansas City.
It's 100% graduation rate. That's pretty impressive, huh? Hey, look, you just brought up bankers, and look who is watching the show live today. Miss Wendy Reynolds from Bank of Blue Valley. Hello. And she says, hooray for Giving Tuesday. And she is going to make a special appearance on our show today.
Can we talk about that? You just did a video shoot with Wendy?
We have one of the videos today already.
Wow. Your team is, I forget this is what you do for a living and how good you are. I can't believe you turned it around that quickly.
Let's say hello to a couple more people, and then we'll bring our guest on. We've got Lindsay. She's watching here on LinkedIn. She loves Olathe Public Schools and Band of Angels. So you guys are right there. Miss Alex says she loves the Rock Chalk Round Ball Classic, Big Shit Foundation. That's Dr. Robin. I love hers as well. And KCMO Angels. Got more Band of Angels shout outs here from Neil. And Sharon says, hi, everyone. Happy Giving Tuesday. Her favorite nonprofits to support are the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Foundation and Great Plains SPCA. So keep telling us who your favorite nonprofits are. You want to talk a little bit about our sponsor? I'm so excited about our video today.
Absolutely. Usually we start off just talking about Bank of Blue Valley and our work with Sean and Felicia, but it's cool that Wendy Reynolds, the CEO, is watching and is a huge leader in Kansas City. And the thing that really attracted us to Bank of Blue Valley and to work with them is all the work that they do in the community that a lot of us do not see. Also, Bank of Blue Valley is one of the largest banking institutions in Kansas City, really helping Kansas City thrive and working with their clients in a holistic way. to help them, not just on what you would think on their typical loans, but really encompassing everything that they would need in their business. And so I think, during COVID, they've been doing an amazing job of getting out there and helping their clients. And we've had some of their bankers on, and just can't be more happy to have them on the show. And also the amazing color that Lily and James and Erin creates with their cool logo that we get to use all the time. I was hoping you got to steal some of their coffee mugs. We got to go get some coffee mugs.
We talked about it, and then we started talking. Wendy's so fun to talk to that I forgot to grab them on the way out, so I did listen to you. But all right, let's start. You want me to be in charge of music, huh?
Yeah, I don't want us to get in trouble. That's kind of cool that I know this is one of very few LinkedIn Live licenses, and it's the #1 LinkedIn Live show in Kansas City. But now we have to worry about the music we play because the show is getting popular, and we do not want to get in trouble for not asking people to play their music ahead of time.
We're a really big deal, Scott. Okay, that's what's going on here.
Oh, yeah.
We got one more right here. Miss Angela, favorite nonprofit, Catholic Charities and Harvesters. Thank you, Angela. Keep letting us know. We're going to introduce our guests now, but keep telling us who your favorite nonprofits are. All right, sir, you can decide in what order music.
Okay. It's not the only Erin on the show today. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
We have Erin Merrill.
Hello. Good afternoon.
#2, Rachel Hewitt.
Hey, guys.
And #3, Ben Allison.
Hello.
And last but not least, Zack Donnelly.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Zack, unfortunately, Zack's got a little bit of feedback, so we're going to unmute him when it's his turn to talk, which is really tough on Zack. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Click in over here, tell us who your favorite nonprofit are, and tell us who you're the most excited to see on the show. So essentially, let's get everybody introduced. Erin, tell us who you are, what you do, and how you get here.
All right. Thanks for having me on. Excited to be here. So my name is Erin Merrill, and I am the owner of Eskie and Associates. We are a real estate development and consultancy, primarily focusing in owner's representation for development and construction projects. So I have been in Kansas City since I was about 3 years old. My family moved here from Topeka, so not far down the road. But I went to high school here at Barstow and developed a love for science and math. Went to K-State University originally for architecture because I also love art and drawing, but ended up going to my backup plan in construction because I love the hands-on work that comes with that. So out of school, I got a degree in construction science there at K-State. And out of school, went to work for a great local company, J.E. Dunn Construction. And I spent 8 years there as a project manager and really got a lot of great experience, great family-owned company, now employee-owned company. But then made the jump over to the owner's representation to bring in a little bit more of my real estate background and worked for CBRE, doing owner's rep and project management there for a few years before I went out on my own, joined my family company 5 years ago, Eskie and Associates, and took ownership of the company about 2.5 years ago. So it's been a great ride, and we are a 50-year-old company, just had our 50th anniversary last year, and we just got our WBE certification in this past January. So we are growing and excited about the new stuff we've got going on.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm so excited because I've only met Zack before, and he's Rachel, I guess we've met in passing briefly. So I'm so excited to learn about all of you. Rachel, why don't we have you go next? Ladies first. Tell us who you are, how you get here, what you do.
Awesome. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me, guys. Hello, Rachel Hewitt. I'm a new business development representative at Scott Rice Office Works in Kansas City and Lenexa. Been a part of the design industry for going on 6 years now. I have a trade background in design from K-State as well. Go Cats.
Yeah.
I started as a practicing designer and then dove into working for small businesses throughout my career, dove into the wide world of business development and design consulting as a workplace strategy consultant now for Scott Rice. So it's been an exciting time to be in design as the economy in Kansas City has grown in the last few years. And even more so now this year as we're thinking of some innovative approaches to design and construction across the board. So yeah, very exciting.
Well, thank you for coming. I'm going to have questions for you later because you say it's an exciting time right now, but it's also a challenging time in your industry. So we'll get into that in a little bit. How about Ben? Earlier when Ben and I were the first on here earlier, I said he looked very patriotic today. So tell us who you are, if you're running for office, and what you do.
Yeah. So Scott, Erin, thank you very much for having me on today. My name is Ben Allison. I am the owner of Duct USA of Kansas City. We are an HVAC cleaning company. We've got a residential and a commercial side located here in Lee Summit, but service all the way out to Lawrence, really kind of like 60-mile radius on the residential side, and can really travel anywhere for commercial projects. But I've lived in Kansas City my whole life. I went to KU for undergrad and law school as well. Worked for a firm here in town called Donnelly for a couple years. Then did the traditional jump from big law and go to McDonald's. My parents owned some McDonald's in town. Was going to go down the path to taking those over, and they ended up selling all of them in 2018. And so we were kind of looking around for a business to buy and for me to run, and we found Duct Doctor. It started in 2013, and the minority partner at that time has stayed on with me and taught me everything I've ever wanted to know about air duct and HVAC cleaning. So it's a pretty exciting time for our company. We're growing. It seems like with COVID, indoor air quality is on the news every single day, and we're just very, very busy at the moment. So it's a good thing to have. Good problem to have.
When your parents owned the McDonald's and when you were in high school, did you work there in high school?
So I did not. I know I knew a couple other owner operators, and their kids had worked there all throughout high school and in college. But no, I did not at that time.
Okay, well, they have amazing stories of kids that work there in high school that come out and do some insane things. So, all right, well, thank you for joining us. Okay, I'm going to unmute you, Zack. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Zack, who are you? How do you get here? And what do you do?
Hi, Scott, Erin, and everybody. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Zack Donnelly. I'm with the John A. Marshall Company, and we focus in commercial office furniture, flooring, and architectural products. I'm born and raised here in Kansas City. Went through school in the Blue Valley district, so not far from our sponsor, Bank of Blue Valley. Went to school in Lawrence, Kansas, graduated in finance and entrepreneurship. And then directly after school, I went into commercial flooring sales for FTC Contract, which is the flooring team for John A. Marshall Company, which is a company I work for today. Started on our flooring team, did that for about 2 years, moved into our architectural products division, which focuses in demountable wall as well as daylighting controls, so window shades, and then moved into commercial office furniture about 6 years ago. So I've been through all facets that our company has to offer. And much that you've heard before, it has been a challenging year in commercial office. So pivoting to work from home strategies and coming up with new design layouts and PPE protection plans has been extremely exciting during this pandemic.
And if I'm right, you and Ben and Scott grew up together, right?
Yes, you are correct.
We did. My mother worked for Scott Rice from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I grew up playing with Scott Rice trucks, and my mother has known Zack and Ben since they were 5 years old. And my mother always reminds me that Ben is a full year younger than all of our other buddies, and that we need to be nice to him and not pick on him.
Still reminds you of that?
We're in our mid-30s.
Scott was always so good at sports, and since I was a year younger, I just had so much catching up to do.
Well,
so no, it's a great honor to have everyone on the show.
We're going to try to keep up with you guys today because I just found out, ladies, they three grew up together right before the show started. So Scott's a lot to keep up with sometimes. So awesome. So do you want to ask about wins, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. Erin, for your organization, it can be opportunistic at times, but also, I mean, it's just got to be brutally a huge struggle. I guess one question I have is diversity across the portfolio. And then secondly, what's your biggest opportunity and win for your organization?
Yeah, we have been very fortunate this year with some great wins and progress. It started a little bumpy, as we all know. Back in March, we signed our first office lease in over a decade in January and started to build out an office space. With a little bit of delay from COVID, we got in April and opened our brand new sparkly office space. So that was a huge win, number one. And then the biggest news today, actually, our first full-time employee started. And so got her on board. We brought a project manager on board to help out with some of the big business wins we've had. And you alluded to it, Scott, it's been a really diverse market for our clients. We've got projects from labs to commercial office to cold storage distribution, K-12 education. So we're doing a little bit of it all right now. Just landed a big flex industrial project earlier this week. So got plenty to keep busy and keep pushing forward into the new year.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's awesome on all the different types of projects. Rachel, you a couple of stories. You are the president of Women of Top Gun and lead that organization. And then one quick story is I was talking with Zack, and this was 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about the show, and I go, oh my gosh, I just realized for the first time ever, we put two people that are in similar industries together on the same show. And he goes, Scott, let me talk to you. You know what? I could not think of a better person to be on the show because she is so good at what she does, and I respect all the work that she does. And I was like crying because I was like, I wish I could be that way with my competitors, but I'm so petty and egotistical that I don't do those things. So I really admire you and Zack for your relationship, and I think we all could learn a lot from it. From now to segue into your recent wins and success, can you kind of tell everyone some of the things that are changing in your industry and some wins that you've had?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's important, as we're a small industry, the design and construction industry, and so we better all be friends at the end of the day, in my opinion. But we've had a great year for as tough as it and challenging as it has been in our greater industry. Scott Rice being a similar contract furniture, construction services, design services supplier in the Kansas City market, we've been able to help several of our large projects and large clients finish their projects this year as planned, getting through a lot of logistical hurdles with shutdowns and material and supply shortages and difficulties there. Just recently, we finished up a project for Garney Construction's headquarters in North Kansas City. They're a great legacy Kansas City business we've been very fortunate to work with. We had some luck this year working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the USDA headquarters downtown that they've got pretty much built out now. We were able to provide construction, kind of A to Z construction design, furniture solutions for them. So things have been going well, steady Eddie. That's all we can hope for right now. So got a lot in the pipeline for 2021. A lot of the industry, as we kind of mentioned before, is reinventing itself right now. So it is challenging, but an exciting time for sure. So we're happy to have a good year, closing out the good year in the books. So
thanks. Ben, for you, can you kind of describe kind of your top 3 verticals that you work in? And then for recent wins, what are some new verticals you didn't think you were going to be in? Because I think when people think of duct cleaning, they think of certain industries where health is of the utmost importance. And now with your growing residential business, that's kind of changing. So what are the traditional verticals you work in? And then what are some new surprises that you've had some recent wins in?
Yeah, so typically in years past, our separation kind of been about 60-40 residential to commercial. This year, we kind of anticipated with COVID, we're like, we might get a lot more work on commercial and see a dip on residential, and it's actually kind of been the opposite. We're sitting probably about 70-30 residential right now, and we're booked out on residential till about midway into January. So we're extremely busy on that front, but commercial, healthcare, and kind of industrial are some of the others that we do quite a bit of work in. We actually just, a win for us recently is we got, I think, about 6 city buildings, a city locally here in town that are trying to get their air ducts cleaned before the end of the year because they've got some CARES Act money that they need to spend. And so that was a big win for us to get that, because they got a few different other duct cleaners in town that were all kind of going after that. And we were able to secure that project. And so now we start rolling on that tomorrow. So
congratulations. And can you explain to the audience for what is the CARES Act funding? I saw Zack and Rachel nod their head, because sometimes you need to deploy that money into services that you all provide. So what is the CARES Act, and when did it need to be spent by?
So I
don't have your attorney hat on. It doesn't. It's just generic. No one's going to know.
Yeah, I have not read the full text. But to my understanding, that government has deployed funds to counties, and counties have dispersed that to cities to help for various projects, for I guess COVID enhancements, if you will, to try to upgrade their facilities, whether that be increased, HVAC. A lot of times they're using this money to refresh the air, so bring in more outside air. So they're doing some HVAC upgrades, and as part of that, they're using some of them funds for duct cleaning. They say that the work must be done by the end of the year, and that's that could be Congress comes out in 2 weeks and says, oh, actually you have until February or March. I don't know, but as of right now, I believe the funds have to be by the end of the year.
I realized right when I asked the question, I should have asked Rachel or Zack, because they would have given my type of response. But then I realized that you're always careful, as you should be, on explaining things when it's a public record here. But Zack, tell us.
I appreciate it, Ben.
Yeah, I tried my best.
You did wonderful, Zack. So for you, you recently got married this year as well. To throw in getting married in a pandemic, so that's always something to put in there. But in general, for you, what are some interesting curveballs that have been thrown at you that you've turned into success?
Am I off mute?
I'm on.
Off mute. All right, great. So, as we know, this pandemic has been extremely interesting, interrupting every single aspect of life. And really what I think has been cool to see is, from a commercial furniture design standpoint, really what we've been doing is helping our clients reimagine what their floor plate can and should look like based on, say, a 6-foot physical distancing. And really what we've been able to do is, when I'm going to try to focus on the positive here, but what we've been able to do is allow these companies to, they were forced to allow their employees to work from home. So it allowed these conservative companies to kind of see, oh, well, you know what? Maybe these employees can work at home 1 to 2 days a week. So really what they've been able to do is kind of open their eyes and be able to expand their operations and work in ways that they never thought they could do before. So really what we're trying to do for our clients is go into their floor plate, understand through the use of utilization tools, to try to figure out what would work best for when they come back to the office in their real estate locations across the United States, to properly right size those locations, as well as with the proper settings of work. So really what we've been doing is focusing on activity-based work, which is actually allowing the employee to work in many different postures at different settings throughout the floor plate, or as we've seen in coffee shops or even at home. So really kind of redeveloping the floor plan and focusing on ideas that have been out there for a long time, but a lot of companies have been, say, afraid to kind of move forward with them. And now that the pandemic hit, they were kind of forced to move to this new floor plan look. So it's really been beneficial to help with our existing client base. And then also being mission critical, we did have some good wins through the pandemic that we follow construction and real estate. So to be able to move forward with those jobs really worked well for us. We actually didn't have to let anybody go through the pandemic. So we stayed strong financially as well. And then the last item, we completed a full showroom renovation here at our headquarters in Lenexa. And it completed, I would say, the end of January, early February. So unfortunately, we haven't had to have the large presentation or ribbon cutting tours that we've wanted to. But as soon as this whole deal lets up, we're excited to get people into the new showroom renovation.
That's awesome. Erin, do we want to dive right into more questions from the audience, or do you want me to keep firing away?
No, I got this. You keep thinking of all your questions, but we've got so many comments over here. So we are asking you, if you're just jumping on, to tell us who your favorite nonprofit is, since it's Giving Tuesday. And we're going to ask all of our guests this next. But essentially, I just want to show some of these. Christine says March of Dimes. She was a big volunteer sponsor for the budget for 15 years. It's an amazing organization. Angie says the Halo Foundation. Angie was on the show last week or 2 weeks ago now. And she has a new book out, so go check out Angie. Haley says she loves Hope Faith Ministries and Girl Scouts. So many amazing organizations. I was actually at something she talked about Girl Scouts. So, and she loves AJR. Tara, she's over at Unbound, says, her favorite nonprofit is the Unbound, which is a nonprofit. Miss Megan, who's a former guest, says Hillscrest Transitional Housing. And Marcus is over on Facebook, and he just wanted to tell us hello. And then if you have your privacy settings and you tell us hi and I don't show you, this is usually why. I just want to do that. That happens every week. And then a couple more, and then we're going to jump into you guys. So start thinking who your favorite nonprofits are. Andrew says YMCA and Cornerstones of Care. Hello, everyone. And he's loving this conversation. And Dan says he's actually going to take your response as gospel, Ben, and run with it, okay?
That's what I was worried about, Scott.
So there you go. So let's kind of talk about your favorite nonprofits, or maybe something your organization does to give back. And I've got to show this one more of Dan. Dan's got my back, and my big brother's big sister.
That officially has made me laugh like the hardest ever on the show. Good work, Dan.
Dan was the winner last year. He was the 80,000 person. So he's actually getting beat. I can't believe he's so upbeat. He's kind of competitive too. So Erin, who is a nonprofit you support, your organization supports, or that you go hard for? I keep calling it go hard for all day. I don't know why. I think it makes me sound cooler and younger.
So a lot of my nonprofit involvement has been very personally driven. So I serve on the board of Jdrf, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, the local Kansas City chapter. So I've been on the board there for several years. My father and husband are both diabetics, type 1 diabetics. So it's a great organization nationally. They're great. Kansas City chapter kills it and consistently has one of the best, highest raising galas in town. So this year's a little different with the whole virtual, but it was still great. We also, my family and the company are involved with KU Med neuro-oncology, and we have started a professorship in my brother's name, along with Head for the Cure Foundation, raising money for an endowed professorship in neuro-oncology. So those are the two big ones. Last year, with kind of Scott's prodding, got involved with Blue Valley Education Foundation and their Battle of the Bands contest. So my kids go to Blue Valley schools, so I'm happy to support them as well.
Do you ever do the bike ride for JDRF?
I have not done one yet. My good friends on the board are prodding me. I did do a sprint triathlon in my younger years, so I have some biking experience, but have not been up to speed on it lately, but would love to do it someday.
Awesome. Well, let us know if you do it. I would love to support. I have a lot of friends that have done that. Rachel, what nonprofits do you support and love and go hard for?
And go hard for. I like it. I mean, like Erin said, I mean, it's very personal to a lot of us. Right now, I'm excited to serve on the Futures Board for the Catholic Education Foundation. I went through Catholic schools K through 12 in Kansas City, and right now a lot of those schools are hurting. They're getting a different portion of that CARES funding than the public districts, and many of those schools are still in-person learning. So happy to support their missions and scholarship aid this year. I'm also personally giving to the Salvation Army because I don't know about you guys, but I love the bell ringers. I'm a big fan of the bell ringers, and there's no bell ringers this year, or very few. So that's an organization I'm excited to put more in their bucket this year for sure.
Erin Folk, you lit up a little bit. Do you and your son and daughter do the bell ringing?
Can I do it? Can you just sign up and do it?
It's all volunteer. Yeah.
Well, we're going to, but I love them. I didn't know you could just go do it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they're going to sign up me this year, but you guys probably find me somewhere for real. Scott, I'm so excited I did light up when you said that because I love them so much because they remind me of everything. They're everywhere and they remind you of your childhood, and I love them.
Yes.
All right. Enough about me. Ben, which nonprofits do you go hard for?
Yes. So with my family's long time involvement with McDonald's, McDonald's has a close tie with the Ronald McDonald House of Kansas City. And so that's a nonprofit that we've been very involved with over the years, whether going there and cooking meals or going to the fundraisers and trying to bid on their auction items, usually get outbid. There's some big spenders there that are above my range that I can go to. But this whole COVID thing has certainly affected our ability to go down there and cook meals, because now it is just being able to send meals over instead of bringing in people. Certainly they've got kids there that have cancer. You can't be bringing in all these extra people to cook meals. So I think once COVID hopefully is gone sometime early 2021, we'll be able to get back down there and cook meals for those families.
We have cooked meals there before, and it's kind of life-changing, right? Watching these families and how they are.
And by no means, I am not a great cook. So several times we've just done breakfast for dinner because I can flip pancakes or cook eggs, do that. But it is really great being able to go down there.
Awesome. All right, Zack, you're coming off mute. What nonprofits do you support?
All right. Personally, number one that I support is going to be the Joshua Center, and they are a treatment center for neurological disorders. I've got a family member that has dealt with that throughout his entire life. So to be able to donate my time throughout my teen years and now being in the workforce, being able to help with furnishings for their offices has been extremely rewarding and wonderful. I also sit on the KC so Children's Assistance Network. That's one that Haven's got me involved with. So really have enjoyed that one. And then one that our company focuses on is the Thornberry Boys and Girls Club. Every year, our office puts together a gift creating event for the kids to be able to go to these different settings to allow them to make presents for their parents. So it's one thing that we do every year. And with the pandemic, it's going to be a virtual attempt. We're trying to figure out what it's going to look like this year because it takes place around Christmas time.
Oh, I love it. And I like that you were so you're doing so good. Usually when we have to put people on mute, they don't just come right in at the right time. So you're doing a wonderful. I am going to pop up in here and do a shameless plug, actually with Jaron Thornhill, who's a previous guest of ours down at 55 Truce. He just opened a new shoe pawn store. And then Luther Glover, who last week his girlfriend was on our show. So their gym over in Lenexa and my space down in the River Market. Those three spaces, we are doing a toy drive right now. And so if you have new toys and you want to drop them off, you can drop them off there. And then we're going to release an Amazon wish list tomorrow if you don't feel like getting out. So we have a toy drive going on, and everything's going to go to all of the domestic abuse shelters throughout the city. So if you are looking for something and this gets you really excited and you want to donate to any of these nonprofits or donate to the toy drive, or let us know over in the comments who you're going to donate to. Also, start asking your questions, because we're going to jump into our Wendy Reynolds question, but we want to know what questions you have for our guests. I did want to check on these. Christine loves Ronald McDonald House, and they actually used it when her daughter had open heart surgery, and she was such a blessing. And then I just want to make your day, Zack's a fan. All right, so this is the first time we're ever going to do this, Scott. Are you ready?
This is going to be awesome.
I'm so excited. All right, guys. So we're no longer asking you the next question, Erin. It's going to be yours to answer, though. We are going to invite Miss Wendy Reynolds, who's the CEO of Bank of Blue Valley, to ask this next question.
The age-old question. What keeps you awake at night?
So this is to me?
Yes.
Oh, man. What keeps me awake at night? Lots of things. I'm working on that. But, you know, I'm at this stage where I'm trying to grow my business and bringing on employees and wanting to make sure that I provide a rewarding place for them to work and that we continue to grow the company. And that kind of gives me the drive and the fuel, but sometimes keeps me awake too. So.
Rachel.
This is a good question. I'm thinking on it. I really think, honestly, you know, a lot of us probably have these big ideas that creep up on us at night, but I'm like one of those weirdos that like thinks of random thoughts in the middle of the night. And it's usually about, oh, I need to call this person. They really ought to know this person. I've been a big like connector for a long time. And, you know, how can I help somebody further? How can I help their business grow? How can I introduce them to their next project or their next opportunity? That's what keeps me up at night, honest to God.
Ben, what keeps you up at night?
Honestly, right now, COVID probably, because we've had situations where on our residential side, we're in someone's house and our guys, they'll have masks on, gloves, everything like that. But they get a call from a friend. Hey, you know, I know we were just hanging out last week. I just tested positive. And so I have to pull my guys out. I call the homeowner and explain what happened and go send my guys to get tested. So it's a situation that has happened. Luckily, my guys tested negative, but just thinking about having to make those calls, or, you know, with a full residential schedule, if we have somebody that tests positive for COVID, then having to try to clear 2 weeks worth of that guy's work that we had scheduled to him is it's very difficult. So that's one of the things that's keeping me up at night right now.
I'd say that's a lot of us probably, right?
Yes, probably.
Zack.
Well, with the ever so changing industry of commercial office furniture and floor plans, as a trusted advisor, I feel that it is my job to learn as much as I can with what's taking place with this pandemic, so that I am putting my clients' best foot forward to help them be productive into the future.
Erin, that went incredibly well. I'm so excited to have Wendy be asking questions on every single show coming up. I have like always wanted it. And when she co-hosted with you, I was like, oh my gosh, she's really good at it. And then I had to remind myself, like, okay, she's a CEO. She does this every day with different groups of her company, but I'm really excited. But how did the video shoot go? Selfishly, tell our guests.
So I'm going to be honest with you, how you just said she's really good at it. You know what I realized yesterday? A lot of times, and you know this, we've had this conversation a lot of times, when you're growing in business, it can be really intimidating to be around certain women at certain levels, right? I get intimidated by that. Wendy Reynolds is the CEO, and Bank of Blue Valley is huge. Like she moved here from Denver because she had already kind of dominated that over there. She is the most kind, empathetic, and comfortable woman that I've ever been around. And I'm not saying that just because she's watching. Like, we left and my videographer and I was like, he was like, that is not how I imagined that was going to go. That was so comfortable. She was so down to earth. It went great. We were in there. She was a pro. We didn't have to do any second takes, and then we were in and out in an hour, and we've got 3 months worth of questions.
I can't believe you didn't have to do any retakes. That's hard.
Pro. She's a pro, and she's just so literally such a good person. So speaking of good people, I'm guessing this is one of your guys' friends. So I imagine he's a good person, but he
One
wanted
of the best mustaches ever.
He wanted to answer Wendy's question as well. And he says what's keeping him awake at night is little humans.
Andrew
That was
Tate
my
is one of
second
the
choice.
nicest, most giving gentlemen in Kansas City. So he's been a huge supporter of the show.
And then we've got a couple more people on here. Christine wanted us to know about Safe Home. That's actually one of the places we're going to donate toys to. And Truman Heritage Habitat for Humanity, which I love them as well. And then Angie heard that CASA is struggling. So if you're looking for another place to donate to, she wanted to make sure that we knew. All right, ask questions if you have questions for our guests. Otherwise, we're just going to rely on Scott's questions. All right, you're on the spot, Scott.
You know, the thing I love about this is you always say the more comments we get, which is a lot of comments, the less questions we get. And the more questions we get, sometimes the smaller the audience. So we have a large audience, and so questions will be coming. And so my question for you, Erin, is I call it the moving dirt industry, and everyone here is involved in the moving dirt industry. And the reason why I love the industry is there is no better people that are on the ball of Kansas City than knowing when new projects are coming up. So all four of you do an amazing job of connecting to others and knowing what's going on in the city. So for you, when you look into 2021 for your business, what is the biggest opportunity you see to hit a triple or a home run, using a baseball reference here? But what's the big opportunity that you see?
You know, I think in general, in the real estate and construction industry, you'll probably hear industrial is hot. Multifamily is still hot, amazingly. It's been hot for a few years, but I think especially with COVID and the change in how we buy things and procure things, industrial is just going to continue to light it up. Also, laboratory testing facilities, which kind of goes hand in hand with industrial. But I think office, commercial office has gotten a bad rap during this whole COVID period. And I know, there's plenty of articles out there that will tell you, that commercial office is going to change, and people, I really see that coming back. I think people have been hesitant, and maybe, I read an article yesterday about new hotel development starting down on the plaza. And, who would think that you'd start building a hotel right now? But I think we're seeing this come to an end, and kind of our industry get back to the things that maybe hit the pause button for a little bit and are going to continue to grow.
Rachel, for you,
Zack,
Zack, go ahead.
So on that note, when you were speaking of commercial office coming back, I'm going to agree with you there. I have had quite a few clients come to me and say, listen, with our employees at home, how is it that we can create culture? And how can we create this desktop learning and knowledge transfer? So where the older generation is teaching the younger generation live and in person, and these collaborative impromptu meetings where the knowledge transfer is taking place, and the sense of belonging and purpose while being in the office. How can we create these environments while people are working from home? And so really, I do believe that the office is going to come back, and it's going to come back strong. The floor plates may look a little different, with some 6-foot distancing protocols and things of that sort. But I do agree with you. I do think the office will come back because there's just certain things that companies need to foster to be able to thrive and move forward.
Rachel,
Totally.
on that same vein, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for yourself and your business?
As Erin and Zack mentioned, I think we're kind of on the upswing in a sense, and in our real estate and development world, because I think most people are realizing that this is going to have long-term effects, but it's It's not going away anytime soon, and we got to continue to move forward. There's a lot of great programs and small business loans and incentives out there that's help support development initiatives right now, and growth initiatives for the business community here. I think there's a lot of momentum in a lot of those markets. Commercial office is going to be interesting, and that's why I say it's exciting, because anytime there's a challenge and anytime we have to kind of stop and rethink how we've always done something and bring new ideas to the table, it's always exciting. And it'll be interesting to see which industries of business adopt these kinds of hybrid working environments where you've got a remote workforce and an in-person workforce, or a blend of the two. How do we retain culture? How do we retain and attract new employees during this time? How do we grow in a creative and innovative way for the long term, when we're going to have these hesitations in any built environment for a long time going forward? So I think businesses and organizations that are going to focus on wellness and take advantage of the financial opportunities that exist right now are going to be some early winners in 2021 going forward.
Quick question, then we'll go to Ben. When was the low point for was there a month that you were like, are we going to come out of this? Because I see a big optimism in Erin's voice and in your voice and in Zach's voice. Ben, he got it, that the business needs clean air. So he's doing great. And does a wonderful job. But for you, I'm noticing a difference in tone. What has turned this around? Is it the vaccine, or is it really just the cycle of people needing to get back into the office?
There's also only 4 more Tuesdays, and they've been telling us that it's over at the end of 2020, right?
So Rachel, when was a low point for you, and when did you get the confidence that you felt like it was coming back?
I'm going to be honest. I was really scared. I think a lot of us were in the early days of the shutdowns. Just being in an industry that serves growth is always scary when there's no more growth or when things hit the brakes. But there was a little bit of concern in the early days too. How do we navigate through any building, any real estate asset like this, with underutilized workspaces and limited team members in the facility? How do we go about this? But I think it's been we've come back with some innovative strategies, and we're all working hard as an industry to bring some new ideas to the table. But I'm hopeful that we've got spiking cases again. I'm hopeful that we don't hit another dark day, but I think we've all learned some resiliency this year and some optimism. I know I have, so I think we can get through it.
Erin, Folk, do we want to jump into an audience question for Ben and Zach, or do you want me to keep rolling?
It's your friend, so let's do it. Question for the panel. Are there any daily habits that help you stay ahead of the competition? Do you work into your daily, weekly, or monthly routine anything special that you feel gives you an edge? If not, what's your superpower? All right, Ben, why don't you
we'll start with you.
I'd say something that's really big for us is we do a Monday morning meeting with all of our guys. Before we were doing that, we didn't really have a pulse of kind of the morale of our crew. And our crew are really kind of the face of Duct Doctor. They are the ones that are at the facility or in people's homes and dealing with the customers. And if they leave here angry about something, then maybe that shows up at a customer's house or in front of a facility director. So we instituted Monday morning meetings, obviously very spaced out at the moment. But we've instituted these meetings so that we can all kind of get on the same page. If anybody's got an issue, whether it be at work or at home or with some of the equipment here, we're just able to kind of all get everything off our chest and able to leave here with a clear mind and ready to go and attack the day. And that's been a huge thing for morale around here. Turnover was pretty high before I got here. Sat down with Brooks, who's my business partner, and we've kind of just tried to figure out, why was that? And once we started to institute these Monday morning meetings, it's really boosted the morale, and we've seen the turnover drop significantly. So that's something that's been huge for us in terms of trying to gain an edge on the competition, and really feel like that's been a difference maker.
Like it. How about Zack? You're off mute. How about you?
So in our industry, there is such a wide variety of product that, we personally represent over 200 different manufacturers. So what I've done is taken it upon myself to dive into a new product that I don't say anything about, or as much as I can know about. So really taking a deeper dive on products, and through this pandemic, a lot of them have been focused on the personal protection and equipment. And then also through the pandemic, I've felt so disconnected from human interaction that I've taken it upon myself to actually reach out to individuals that I have not met with, to either meet with in coffee in person or coffee virtually. Trying to stay connected socially, I think, is extremely important and just feels more normal. So those are the two actions that I've taken to try to, stay as productive as possible through this pandemic.
Erin, what do you think your superpower is?
Oh gosh.
I love that question.
Too many.
No. I've learned through the years that multitasking is not necessarily a good thing. But as a business owner and a mother of 3 children, I think it's becoming a superpower. So, balancing a sick kid today with, training a new employee and several things going on at once. So I try.
Are you virtual schooling as well right now? Are they in person?
No. Thank goodness my kids are elementary age and have been in full time since about the 3rd week of the school year. So I'm blessed to have that.
Nice. Rachel, what's your superpower?
Man, I'm with you guys. The social aspect of this, it's important to stretch that muscle frequently, if not daily, reaching out to people that you know or don't know, and keeping those relationships strong while we're all remote, again, for the most part. Other than frequent trips to the coffee machine in my kitchen, my superpower really is kind of creating a space where I feel good. When I feel good, I work harder and work better. So it's getting up, putting on real clothes. It's having a clean workspace, having a supportive ergonomic chair, having some daylight coming in. I sit exactly next to a window on my 3rd floor, so I can see my neighborhood from here. Really helps me kind of center myself throughout the day. Those are things that really kind of keep me energized hour to hour and day to day, that make a big difference in the long run.
Erin Folk, what is your superpower?
I was about to ask you. You beat me. I think we kind of have the same superpower. We really like serving people and bringing people together. What do you think?
I think I was going to give you huge credit. So Erin put together the video and taping with Wendy Reynolds, the CEO of Banco Blue Valley, and then how she turned it around for today's episode is mind blowing. And so I always remind her that her work ethic is so amazing, and I love partnering and working with her. But my superpower, I was lucky that Stacy Prosser of the Business Journal wrote about it. I work with, all my partners are working moms. So all the executives I work with are working moms. And if you want something done, the old saying is get a busy person to do it. Well, there's no busier people than working moms. And so pre-pandemic, during pandemic, and post-pandemic, my secret weapon is always partnering with working moms, because they get things done, like Erin staying up late at night, putting together the stuff for the show, which she didn't need to do. But obviously I know Bank of Blue Valley is really appreciative that she was able to turn it around so quickly. So
listen, I know Erin, I know the other Erin knows this. There's nothing better than late at night if you're a mom because it's quiet, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden it becomes your safe haven. It's late at night.
Nobody's bothering me.
I'm going to tell you a quick story. I've actually had to do extra makeup today because I was up so late last night looking for our elf on the shelf. Because, right? Because you don't know pressure until it's almost December 1st and you can't find that elf. So speaking of last night, it was a rough night last night.
No, Elf got a little busy a couple of years ago and hasn't come back at my house.
My teenager tried to set me up. He's like, maybe he's not coming because of COVID. And I know
you should have taken full advantage of that.
We set ours out the other night. And so she moves every night. And she didn't move one night. And my daughter was like, she didn't move. I was like, I think maybe she's waiting until nap time to go back and see Santa today. I was like, oh my gosh, we got to start setting reminders to make sure we move her every night.
You have to listen. I've got a 14-year-old, so we started with him. You've got to do a phone reminder. Listen, this is the best business advice I can give you as a working parent. You got to do a phone reminder, and then you got to rope in your kid the minute, if you have younger kids, the minute that you're done, because they love doing it for the first couple of years. That'll get you out of a couple of years. Okay. My daughter was like, no, I know he's staying in a hotel and he's been quarantined and he is coming. And I'm like, all right, here I go. So late at night. All right, we're going to wrap up. Scott's favorite thing, because half of you here grew up with him. You guys know he, hold on. Put a mask on the elf and leave him in quarantine. That's new 2020. Angie, where were you yesterday?
Shout out to Angie and her new book. If you go to her LinkedIn profile, you can find her new book.
So if you know Scott at all, you know he loves nothing more than a cheesy icebreaker. Actually, Zack, when we met, we were playing cheesy icebreakers with Scott. So Scott, why don't you ask one more cheesy icebreaker question? We'll start with Erin, we'll go around and we'll wrap up.
So the question I have is one that a lot of you probably have had, but when you had a middle school boyfriend or girlfriend, did you have a song that you danced to, and what was that song? I know people remember it.
Oh gosh, this is really embarrassing. So yes, we used to play Truth or Dare a lot, and I actually remember I was, dating this boy in like 6th or 7th grade, and we hadn't actually kissed yet, and the dare was to dance to the Lion King, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And we had to kiss at the end of the song. Yeah, really.
Oh, nice. That's a great dare. Very PG.
What?
No, it's a very PG. That's a great story.
His mind is working. Just ignore it. He's
very PG.
Crappy hour.
Yeah.
Rachel, what was the song?
Hang on, sorry, I had to go on mute because I had a barking dog in the background there. I'd say we had a minor obsession when I was in middle school with Green Day and with kind of those punk rock bands. And I don't know if any of them were really love songs, but they were definitely like headbangers, like fun time songs. So we definitely kind of got into that.
She skipped.
I don't know if we were so much of the love song crowd when I was in.
Ben, what was the song? And Ben and I went to some punk rock concerts, but what was the song for middle school or high school?
I don't remember if this was middle school or high school, but I feel like, and this wasn't like this is our song, let's dance to this song. But I feel like Country Grammar by Nelly was a song played quite a bit at our party.
That's right. Zack, what was a song from middle school or high school that you danced to that was one of your significant other's songs?
So I'm not 100% sure of the name of it, but it was a Kid Rock slow song. And I remember being at Friday Night Club, which was a Friday night gathering for middle school. And I remember thinking, you don't slow dance to Kid Rock songs. I think so. And was I wrong. The girl of the time was irritated.
How about you, Scott?
I think it was 3 pence none the richer. Kiss me.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
Erin, what was your song?
So I was a weird homeschool kid in junior high, so I didn't start kissing anybody till high school. But I'm a little older than y'all, and I used to go to teen night at Guitars and Cadillacs. You guys know about that? Did you go, Erin? And I remember I kissed Brian Dorsey, who was like the hottest guy over at Wellsville High, to Strawberry Wine. And because it's Kansas City, someone will know that, and I just totally embarrassed myself. But every time that song comes up, you know what it does? It brings that memory. So, Erin, we probably hung out at Guitars and Cadillacs. The rest of these people were in grade school, but we were hanging out.
Yeah, I also want to see more client testimonial videos out of everyone here. I know a company that could do it for you, but I just was thinking of that I get to hear a lot of the people that you all work with. I get to hear about all your good works because we're all friends, but would love to see the digital video of it as well, of having your clients give testimonials. But what I feel all fancy now that we have these videos of Bank of Blue Valley. Erin, how do we end the show? Usually we talk about Bank of Blue Valley, but now we have the videos for it.
We do. And guess what? We're at time. So I am so thankful to Bank of Blue Valley for allowing us to bring all of you on. I'm so thankful for all of you coming on. Thank you for sharing your favorite nonprofits with us today. Please make sure you go out and give for Giving Tuesday. Scott and I were told by our good friend Grant Gooding that 19% of nonprofits will close their doors before the end of 2020. So I know we keep talking about it, but it is so important. It is something that we are so passionate about. If you have any means, volunteer time, money, physical, and means to give back today, please do it. Thank you so much for coming on. We will see you next week. Same time, same place. We only have 4 shows left for 2020. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week. Have a great week.